Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, wanting just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
Hey there, Veteran Nation fans. I am talking to you today because I have teamed up with a company that's dedicated to supporting veterans. What they do is they help you gather all the medical evidence that you're going to need to submit a VA disability claim. Now, it's all that is designed to help you get the benefits that you have earned. Right now, more than 17 million veterans don't have their full benefits. And if that sounds something familiar, either for yourself or a family member, now is the time to act. With this company, what they offer is free consultations with the medical team so they can figure out how they can best help you. And what they provide is board-certified doctors with experience working with the VA, comprehensive medical documentation for both physical and mental conditions, and the services that they provide include nexus letters, telehealth evaluations, DBQs, TDIU, aid and attendance, and so much more. What you're going to do is you're going to click the link that's in the description of this video and sign up for a free consultation. Make sure you do me a favor, share this, and also tag a veteran. Let's help more people get every single thing that they have earned. Good morning, good morning. It's good to see you all here this morning. Ooh, it is... It's a good morning for me. It's good morning for me. Good morning to Joan and good morning to Stacy. Make sure everyone you like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I'm just checking out my levels real quick. Things have been going smooth this morning. And speaking of which, we are going to start off right here showing this content that I know. I thought we had. Oh, I know what it is. So there we go. So still playing Allison's content, and she thinks that calling it parody gives it some type of special. What is it?
some type of special like status. The fact that it's parody just means that it's protected not from use, but protected from people claiming that you're breaking other people's uh, that you're claiming of them claiming that you're using copyrighted content. But I'm showing it right now. This is absolutely fair use. What I'm doing right now, because I am changing it. You know, you can see I'm giving commentary. This is not even really that well done, in my opinion. It's kind of boring. It's not funny. So this is commentary, and I'm doing fair use over it. So there you guys go. That's day 2. And if Allison wants to bring any type of copyright strike, bring it, bitch. Bring it, you moron. None of these people, like, they talk a lot about copyright stuff, but they don't, uh, it's like they don't read what they're saying. You know, or maybe they just don't understand it. They spew out stuff without an understanding. Good morning, Paul. Good to see you. And Hellhound and Cinder. Good to see you guys. Fun, fun, fun. If Okay, you guys watching, if you didn't see me, Stacy, and Georgie, I came in at the end. They did like 3 hours of streaming, and I came in at the end, and we just had a blast. It was so much fun. I wish I didn't have to leave. Oh, there's TC. Yeah, I was doing a lot of the stuff that I've done here, that I know you guys love. Like, I've done my voices. I was doing Casey Kasem, and I was doing we got TC and AVA. New Assassin's Creed Black Flag came out this morning. Oh, I should get that because I really enjoyed when it came out. I bought that in 2014. I was in Abu Dhabi and I played that a lot. You know, I was deployed, no wife and kids. So when I did have downtime, if I wasn't out spending money, because that was very easy to do in the UAE, I played that quite a bit. And then when I came back, my son, he got into it, and that's the game that really brought him into Assassin's Creed. So I love that game. So I might, I'll let him know. In fact, he and we were having a discussion yesterday. He bought Uncharted, and what was the other one? Let me look here because he bought Uncharted, and I was like, if you start playing Uncharted, if you like it, you'll like Tomb Raider. And oh, he also got the first uh, game of Last of Us, and I was like, that's a really good game too. So he's going to be playing those. I believe he got those on his PlayStation. So yeah, I might look at that. And if you, I believe, if I remember correctly, there is online play. It's been a while since I played Black Flag. Hey, there's Larry. And I like, you know, I've had people try to get me into these ROGs, which are role playing games that are like fantasy. I don't know. Maybe if I had like a good group of gamers that was like, I was friendly with, I would play that. But I will play games with people who are like a game like that where it's like a history based game. I really did enjoy it, and there were missions like I didn't do a lot of the whaling missions or a lot of the deep sea diving missions. Hey, Georgie, I was always doing the ones to expand the map. I like doing those. How are you doing, bestie? She's gonna be like, "That's not my name. You call me baby girl." Uh, Wake up, retard. Uh, so there is a couple cases that I am gonna get into. Uh, I don't have a lot prepared for today, so um, if you're expecting like a ton of stuff from Skipper, no, I don't. I do want to talk about Graham Platner, uh, Democrat nominee for Senate in Maine, officially withdrew from the race or announced his withdrawal. He's got to do the paperwork. And so he's withdrawing from the race, which his limit to withdrawal would have been on Monday. Uh, there's no way that you're going to convince me otherwise that he was not paid money by the DNC. Paid money because they were looking at their poll numbers, realized him. Oh, baby girl, I'm drinking my mug that you sent me. Um, yeah, they are. Uh, um, you'll never convince me that they're looking at the polls, saw him falling in the polls, and were like, "We need to get someone else in here. He's got too much baggage, and he didn't want to go, and they had to pay him off." You'll never convince me otherwise. Hey, there's Max Lab. Everyone, uh, Max. I know Max just did a GoFundMe for his uh, AC. I believe he did reach his goal, but make sure you guys go over and check out Max Lab's channel. We love Max Lab over here. He's a good dude. Good dude. Um, but yeah, so the DNC, I believe, paid him off so that, and now they've got to find another candidate. Now, they have a couple waiting in the wings. I was reading about the one guy, Tony Jackson, and it's like he's got some baggage too. I think I know a lot of people like they're looking at these poly markets and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, Collins' chances of winning dropped." You can't like the markets are a snapshot in time, and you can look at the trends to know how they're going. But a lot of it is based off of polls and what experts are saying. And just like Supergirl, don't believe the experts. Like the critics were wrong about Supergirl, in my opinion. The ones that were like, "Oh, this is the greatest movie ever." No, it's just an okay movie. It's not great. It's not bad. I wouldn't pay money to see it. Streaming, I'd watch it and be like, okay. Um, oh, you hit the goal and got your AC. Nice, nice. Nolan Wells issue. I'll have to look at that. Getting crazy down there. Okay. There's a case from Ohio that my mom informed me about that I will be talking about today. It's crazy. 16 kids neglected in Ohio. We'll get into that. Um, but yeah, back to Graham Platner. So I don't think this hurts Collins' chances. I really don't. Um, I think you know them being a mess. I think just gets people turned off from the race, and people who were at one point excited are now like, okay, well, you just can't do that to voters. You can't put up a guy and be like, this is the greatest guy ever, and they vote for him, and now he's going, and then uh, with really nothing new, replace him on the ballot. This new accusation didn't change anything. It was nothing new. Yeah, Heroes Chris also agrees with me. Seen the movie, not bad, not good. Yeah, it's just okay. And 175 million on an okay movie. Um, but I get frustrated with Republicans who are like, we need to get Susan Collins out and get a real Republican. Maine is a blue state. It's a very blue state. Like Susan Collins is the best you're gonna get that can win. That can win. That's where I get so frustrated with Republicans. Like what? Show me one Republican that can win a statewide race in Maine, and then we can have that discussion. But they can't. They don't have any. They don't have any because it's a very blue state. It's where people from Massachusetts retire. So Susan Collins is the best Republican you're ever going to get in there. Now, I wish they would put that same energy into getting rid of Lisa Murkowski. Lisa Murkowski is a horrible senator, and she comes from a deeply red state, Alaska, and they keep changing the rules the state Republican Party keeps pushing rule changes to benefit Murkowski. Why? She is a rhino. She will work against people every chance they get. And me and my mom, we were talking about Vivek. He's running for governor in Ohio. And we were talking, she doesn't really follow the day to day, but she likes Vivek. And she was like, "Well, they're trying to say Acton is surging." And I went and I looked at the poll. I was like, first off, the poll that they're referencing is not like, it's not a big place. They don't have like a record. So until I see other polls from them, I'm not going to trust what they're saying. And the other thing is they're saying that Amy Acton is at 40%, Ramaswamy is at 44%. And so that means there's 10% over 10% undecided in the race. I was like, do you think there's 10? Why are you undecided? Is it because you don't like Ramaswamy, you don't know Ramaswamy, you don't know Acton? I could believe people who don't know Acton, they're not sure. That I can believe. But everybody knows who Vivek Ramaswamy, the dude ran for president. You know who he is. Uh, and the other thing about these polls is like they oversample certain groups when they're trying to get a narrative. For instance, in Ohio, you oversample college educated whites. And then you say, "Oh, we're going to take the Republicans from that sample so that way we have an even sample." Well, college educated Republicans go less for Trump. And when they go less for Trump, they're going to go more for Ramaswamy. And they did this during the presidential election. All these polls showed Ohio neck and neck. Did you guys see the voting results? Ohio is, when Trump is on the ballot and people who support Trump, it is not a swing state anymore. It's a very red state. Like Trump won Ohio, I think 8 or 9 points. Like, it's not a swing state anymore with MAGA on the ballot. So you're telling me that the people who love Trump don't love Ramaswamy? And the reason why this happens is because there's rhinos in Ohio like John Kasich and Mike DeWine they've got a lot of power, a lot of power. They control a lot of the money. They control several of the boards, and that's why in 2020 when Trump lost, I said actually Trump won because they did all these things and they ballot stuffed so that Biden would win. But if you started looking down ballot, yeah, maybe they did a couple statewide races, but when it came to your local races, MAGA candidates were winning. And that was huge because that was a party shift. And I kept warning Republicans. I said populism always wins eventually. It does. It always wins eventually. And Trump is a very populist candidate. So what happened was the MAGA Republicans started running for city council. They started running for school boards, and they started amassing this grassroots power. And then where do you get people who are on your precinct boards and your state nominating boards? You get them from those same things. So you MAGA started taking over from the ground up. That is why Mitch McConnell couldn't run Kentucky. And Mitch McConnell right now is brain dead. I am convinced of that. Governor Beshear is out there saying, "I need proof that Mitch McConnell is awake and alert." And so far, I don't believe he's gotten it. And if Mitch McConnell's brain dead, yeah, his seat should be declared vacant and someone put into it and a special election done in November. There we go. That's the process. But yeah, these rhinos had establishment more, I guess is the more likely way to call them. They had power for years and they've been losing power slowly, just chipping. The MAGA's been chipping away at it. And I was like, this is inevitable. Inevitable. And eventually establishment Republicans will go away. Will they leave to the uh, Democrat Party? Maybe, but a lot of them are older, college-educated whites. They're gonna die off, and I don't think it's a bad thing because, as you're seeing with the younger generation, some of those are more Republican. So, as far as Republicans go, they're in a very good spot. And I laugh about it because I remember, what was it? Well, no, not 20 years ago, but more like 15 years ago when Obama came in, people were looking at the thing and they were like, the demographics, because white people are getting smaller. The Democrats are going to take over and Republicans will never win the presidency again. I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. Democrats or demographics shift over time. It's a moving thing. So, and as you saw, black men are starting to get more Republican. It's starting to happen because, as the biggest thing the mistake they made is they have embraced these crazy people, these Democrat socialists, these trans people. Uh, they don't have mainstream views. And in fact, their views, hey, Numismaniac, um, they have these views that are counter to what a lot of the Democrat base has. These are just a fringe section of the Democrat Party, and the Democrat Party, as you see with Graham Platner, is willing to sell its soul to get these people on the ballot. And I think they're gonna be rejected. They might win in places like Maine and Massachusetts and Illinois, Oregon, California, but they're not gonna win in Florida, Texas. They're not gonna win in your swing states of Iowa. Like, your normal average voters get very turned off. Like, it's like I've said for years, Republicans need to stop making abortion an issue. They need to make guns a main issue because guns is a winning issue. The trans rights stuff, winning issue for Republicans across the board. Not even close. Not even close. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That is why you saw all these people, "Oh, I had a 20-minute conversation with Mitch McConnell." Yeah, a lot of people had 20-minute conversations with Mitch McConnell. Uh, no one has proof of it. They're just, "Oh, he had so many 20-minute conversations the other day." I made a post. I said, "I just had a 20-minute conversation with Mitch McConnell, and he has a message to everyone. Be sure to drink your Ovaltine." Yeah, people are worried about you and I's relationship, how we feel about each other. Really? It's so stupid to me. Um, so yeah, I I think Collins now, regardless what Poly Market says, I'll look at what those markets and what they have to say, but I'm not like, oh, it's in the bag. Dude, we're not even middle of July. Like, I think Collins is in a very strong position. It'll be interesting to see who the Democrats choose to run, but you got to think they got to get name recognition. They don't have the benefit of campaigning now for 6 months. They don't. We're looking at less than definitely it's what, August, September, October. So not even barely 3 months. That's not a lot of time to put together a campaign. Not at all. So, and I think by this whole thing with Planner, there are going to be a percentage that are turned off. But Republicans need to focus more on getting people like Murkowski out. That is my 2 cents on it. So I wanted to talk about it. There we go. We talked about it. Um, yeah, I do want to talk about this case in Ohio. Um, Man charged in case of 16 children found gets modified bond due to medical emergency. And this is in Vinton County, Ohio. Um, days after 16 children were rescued from deplorable conditions in Vinton County, Ohio home, many questions still remain. The children's grandpa, grandma, father, and mother, Gail Siders Jr., Gail Siders Sr., Christina Siders, and Elizabeth Siders are all facing charges. Vinton County Prosecutor William Archer provided some new details on the case as it unfolds. All four waived their appearance in court on Tuesday. They had previously entered not guilty pleas and had bonds set at $300,000 each. Archer said Siders Sr. was given an own recognizance bond Tuesday due to serious medical condition that requires care in a hospital outside of the area. Hey, Amanda, good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Uh, Uh, Archer said his medical care in the county jail could potentially bankrupt Vinton County, which prompted the decision to release him on bond and give him ankle monitoring. The community is not at risk because of this bond, Archer said. I wonder what care it is for it to bankrupt a county. Okay. Within the next couple of weeks, the case is expected to go to a grand jury. Archer said the four had preliminary hearings Tuesday because Vinton County only holds grand jury every other month, unlike other counties that hold them once a day. It is a very rural county. Oh, thank you for the jewels, Stacy Woodson. She sent 10 jewels. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Archer said the grand jury is a secret process, so he can't disclose specifics, but hopes to have information. The children range from the age of 1.5 to 18, include both boys and girls, officials said. Several in serious condition when found. 2 had to be flown to a level 1 trauma centers because of their injuries. Ohio Attorney General Andy Wilson said it was the worst scene he'd ever encountered his entire career, describing what he saw as pure evil. Deputies discovered the children while serving a search warrant in what Wilson described as a parallel investigation. Something unrelated, it wasn't about the welfare of these 16 kids. At that point, we didn't know that there was going to be 16 kids there. Like, if you can't take care of your kids, why are you having more? 16 kids is a lot. After observing more evidence, Wilson called what he saw as third world, calling it beyond comprehension. If they'd waited 24 hours, it's a high probability we'd be dealing with death or multiple deaths of these children. Since the discovery, officials have said the number one concern is the physical well-being of the children. All children were examined. 7 of them taken to a Columbus hospital, 2 care flighted. 1 of the children was in the ICU and had to be intubated. The children are safe and being cared for. When asked about the mother, Elizabeth Siders could be a victim, Archer said. According to her attorney, she's not a victim. So we'll let him decide how she wants to address his representation of her. Officials say the children are safe, now currently in a good situation. It's an inter-family situation, not human trafficking. Family has ties to multiple counties and states. Yeah, they rented. So let me see if I can pull up another thing, because these kids, what I was told is that some of these kids don't like can't speak. Yeah, some of these kids can't speak. They were 16 of them in a 12 by 12 room. That's ridiculous. Even if we're talking babies, that's ridiculous. But no, these are the age of 18 all the way down to 1. Uh-huh. Here we go. This is the Daily Mail. This says shocking images, so everyone please be warned. I don't know what these images are. They could be bad. Let's see. There's the house, not a very big house. Oh, looks like a hoarder house. Let's see. 18-year-old who was developmentally disabled, could not even write her own name. There was junk all over. Livestock was kept in better conditions. Phew. Bowls of dog and cat food sitting outside. There's the mother. There's the father. The grandfather, grandmother. They look like real winners. So this doesn't really talk too much about the kids, about their conditions. So this one's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Yeah, the kids are essentially feral, is what this one says. They spent most of their time in the room, 12 foot by 12 foot. The neighbors never saw the kids. So the family, when did the family move in? Does it say? So, okay. Oh, no, that's a different case. So, yeah, I'm not seeing any other updates on this case, but I'll keep following it. I will keep following it. I think they had all those kids so they could benefit from welfare. Possibly. Were the adults on meth? Possibly. I don't know. They said something unrelated. So it could be a meth thing. My niece has 13 children. They were all cared for. Yeah. This next is a video Libs of TikTok shared, and it's about a cop who is woefully ignorant of the law. It's only a minute long, so I do want to show this one. There we go. Let's watch this.
That ordinance means like music, not talking. If someone is offended by your talking, then we have a problem.
That is a constitutional violation of our rights. If you shut us down,
No.
So if someone's offended, the cop can arrest him. So apparently we're not law enforcement anymore. We're offensive speech enforcement. People, free speech, the offensive speech is what is protected. Why? Because the speech that everyone else gives, the popular speech, doesn't need protection. No, everyone agrees with it, so it doesn't need protection.
Then we have a problem.
That is a constitutional violation of our rights. If you shut us down,
No, if they are offended by your speech, okay, then I'll write you the ticket and then we'll go from there.
Wait, you're going to take us for offensive speech?
Yes, absolutely.
Are you serious?
speech. You're going to cite us for
Yes, it's
offensive
called disorderly
speech.
conduct.
That's,
Oh, whoa.
Disorderly conduct. Speech in and of itself cannot be disorderly conduct. There has to be something disorderly. Me just saying something offensive, like, let's say I want to say something really offensive, like Kathy Criswell's a good person. That would offend a lot of people. That itself is not, it's offensive, but it's not disorderly. Disorderly means I have to be screaming and interrupting people's peace. I have to be maybe like doing it with graffiti, like or like stopping traffic. Like there needs to be some type of action other than the speech for the conduct to be. It has to be conduct, not speech.
Yes, it's called disorderly conduct.
That's,
Oh, whoa.
No.
Yes, it is.
Disorderly conduct has to be accompanied by conduct.
This is the conduct
I'm
that
a
you're
retired
doing.
police officer myself.
For who?
26 years, federal law enforcement.
So it's federal. So this has nothing to do with local.
Wow.
It has nothing to do with local.
Yeah. Well, I look at
It's federal, has nothing to do with local. Okay. This is the problem. I think they should have a constitutional training for these cops because the supremacy clause, federal laws trump state laws trump local laws. In fact, right now there is a case, the Veer Montes case. This next 2027 is going to be a great year for guns. There's 2 cases, ban cases, going in front of the Supreme Court. I thought they would be argued in the fall, but I was watching a guy who's he's a lawyer, he's smarter than me, Mark Smith. His name of his channel is 4 Boxes Diner. Go check him out on YouTube. He's also on X. I don't know where else he's at, but very smart guy, especially when it comes to law. I trust him. He thinks it's going to be argued in January with a decision coming out in June. And he thinks that, there are people on the court who are going to slow walk it, which that's fine, as long as we get a decision. So this time next year, we will have the decision. Greg, thank you for the 200 joules. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you guys go to the merch store at veterannationfoundation.com. Hey, it's me. The jab made a lot of people stupid. That's true. But yeah. Now this Veer Montes case, and here's how it relates to this video. Okay. The Veer Montes case is where a locality had a law about that was banning guns. And see, in New York State Rifle Pistol, that case was delayed going to the Supreme Court because as it was making its way through, New York changed the law and said, okay, now these issues are moot. So the Supreme Court can't take them up. And the Supreme Court was kind of pissed about that. They were kind of unhappy. And you can do that with state laws, but you can't do that with municipal laws, because with municipal laws, you can go for nominal damages. So even if the municipality completely gets rid of the law, guess what? That case still will be argued in state court, because now the issues are no longer moot, meaning the damage was done and will continue to be done even long after that law is gone. So, this cop is arguing that this retired federal law enforcement official doesn't understand the municipal law. Municipal law does not trump state law, and it definitely does not trump federal law. Sorry. That's why a lot of these people, when they pass these laws, you'll see I see the left do it more than the right, but the right will do it too. But they'll pass these laws and people will be like, oh yeah, see? And it's like, okay, yeah, that's fine, but it's unconstitutional. You can't, like a town passing a law that says ICE can't come into our city. It's unconstitutional. It's not going to stop ICE, and no judge is going to uphold it. So you can pass that all day long. I don't care. There's no teeth to it.
To do with local.
Wow.
It has nothing to do with local.
Yeah. Well,
do whatever you all think that you can do.
Whatever it says, 80
whatever we think.
decibels.
Wow.
It says 80
Since
decibels.
y'all know the law so well, I'm not going to let y'all do whatever
So
you
I just want to clarify. If anything is said that's offensive, you're going to write the ticket?
If someone complains that your language or what you're saying is offensive,
Hey.
It's pretty loud. So we
No,
can use it.
So the other thing about this is this retired federal law enforcement, he was pulling up the law, and he was saying that speech under 80 decibels is not disorderly. And there's a lot of laws out there. You should look up your local laws. If you use a bullhorn, that could put you over the threshold. I know Arizona has some laws like that. I don't know. I'm not really great about them. AVA says, my favorite part about cops is they make up laws and the general public thinks it's true. People need to realize that cops are allowed to lie to us. That's very true. It's me says, boy, Trump showed the world yesterday who the boss is. I didn't see what he did. I know the ceasefire in Iran is done, but done for, at least for right now. But I don't know. I didn't see anything. I just, maybe something happened. I was focused on the Grand Platner case. But this cop is literally looking up the law. The other thing is that, what did she say at the end?
The ticket.
If someone complains that your language or what you're saying is
If someone claims that your language is offensive. Now this is demonstrated in a case called Cohen v. California. Okay. And in that case, Cohen was in, I think it was 69 or 70. He was protesting the draft, and he had a sign or a t-shirt that said "fuck the draft." And he was arrested for it and went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and they said, "No, you can absolutely say that." So no, like there can be municipal laws that say you can't use foul language. They can do that. Doesn't mean it's legal, but there can be caveats to it. The First Amendment is subject to time, place, manner restrictions, and this is where people who are like me, and where I see a lot of auditors screw it up, is that time, place, manner that is constitutional. So if they say you can't use foul language in front out in public in front of children who are younger than the age of like 10, okay, potentially that law could be constitutional because it's a time, place, and manner restriction. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's not just you can't use that, you can't use foul language. It's you can't use foul language in front of these individuals. That's when it potentially does become lawful. Listen to his pressers at the UN. Bahrain joined us last night in Iran and blew up power plants. Yeah, I did see that. And I've worked with the Bahrainis. So Bahrain does not have a military. That's actually considered law enforcement, but they do they're not very big. So they don't have a military, but their law enforcement does do, I would say, military functions. And so I worked with several of those guys. Very, very capable, really good law enforcement guys. Very smart, I will say that. And I remember, quick story here. I remember our colonel. They had found all this hashish, and it was packed into a radiator of a truck. And I remember our colonel was like, "How did you know to check to search the radiator?" And their colonel said through an interpreter, he was like, "Oh, they when they opened the hood to inspect, they noticed that the threads on uh, the screws, or not the screws, but the bolts on that hold the radiator on, they were freshly undone. So they knew that the radiator had been taken off. So they were like, okay, we're going to search that. And yeah, that's where they found all the hashish. And I was like, wow, pretty smart. Very smart. Yeah. Yeah. And that's AVA. I was threatened with arrest for protesting against my corrupt congressman. I was told that my sign was too big to protest. And yeah, that it's potential. Like, I think if you had pushed that issue, I think you would have ultimately had won, but it would have cost you a lot of money, and it probably would have been years to fight. And we had that discussion. Uh, but yeah, that's the whole thing with time, place, and manner restrictions, which stinks. Absolutely stinks. Because yeah, that's. I mean, I get it, but you could absolutely take other signs. In Alabama, people don't act stupid because everyone has a weapon. I'll challenge you. I'll challenge you on that one. There's dumb people everywhere. But yeah, so this cop, like, woefully misrepresenting the law, woefully misrepresenting it. And that's the problem today. We get a lot of these police who just, they'll say things. And I dealt with this with a Marine officer. There was a guy that I knew. We'd been in one command, and then we ended up in another command. And I remember weapons had gone missing. And I'll tell you, weapons accountability, huge freaking deal in the military. You don't lose your weapons. Any of the veterans will know. Like the fact that I'm saying missing weapons, they're like, oh shit, people are getting fired. So they couldn't find these weapons, and I get a call, and they're like, hey, we want you guys to check your armory for these weapons. So I'm like, okay, call down to my armory. They're like, yeah, we've already checked, but we're gonna check again. We'll check our. I said, if you guys have already looked at the serial numbers once, which we had 2,000 weapons, so this was like crazy. I was like, just put one Marine on it, and I said, put one Marine on it, have them check them all, whatever long it takes. I go, but from there on, if our numbers match, I only want you to do site counts because I'm not. I'm not going to dedicate all of my staff to someone else's problem. Like we'll check, but from here on out, we're just doing site counts. And if our numbers match, I'm not going serial number by serial number. Just because that guy's fucked up doesn't mean I'm fucked up. That was my point. So we did that again, and they had me report it, and I contacted the G4, and I was like, yeah, I've got all my weapons. There's nothing extra. That serial number is not showing up. And the G4 said, I might need you up here later on today. I'm like, okay, you just let me know. So then I got a call from my buddy who was a supply officer. And he goes, are you dealing with this weapons issue? And I said, they've had me check my stuff. And he's like, well, it's this guy over here. They're missing 2 weapons. And I go, oh, that guy sucks at his job. I go, what are you missing? I was like, I just know the serial numbers that was reported to me. And he's like, it's a rifle and a pistol. I go, okay. I can make this simple for you. Rifle and a pistol going missing together. That's a staff NCO or officer because that's who gets issued a rifle and a pistol. I go, and the thing is, if it's not in your armory, it's likely because they deployed. And you're not looking so much for the weapons, you're looking for the paperwork. And he's like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And he's like, will you come up to this meeting at the G4? And I said, yeah. And I was up there, and they were telling me what this other Marine Corps logistics officer was telling them. And he was giving them a bullshit story. And it was just like this cop. I was like, here's the problem with this guy. I go, I've got a lot of experience with him. He will say things wrong, but confidently enough for you to question yourself. Because there was me and another guy who was very smart, a lot of experience in the Marine Corps, and he would argue with us. And I would be like, and we were in training, and he'd be like, no, it's this. This is what the Marine Corps. I'm like, well, I've been around the block. I go, it's my understanding of the book answer is this. It could also be this, maybe this, but what you're saying is way off in left field, doesn't make any sense at all. But he would argue with us, and after a couple times of this, and us having to like me and a couple other smart guys of like sitting down and being like, yeah, this what he's saying doesn't even like it doesn't match the orders, it doesn't match the publications, nothing, like it makes no sense. Where the hell is he and then we realized, oh, he's just a bullshitter, a really good bullshitter. And that's what this cop is. She's saying it confidently to try to get you to question yourself. She doesn't actually know. Yeah, but yes, and it was funny because after I had that meeting with the lieutenant colonel and my fellow captain, I gave them enough information on that guy because they had to go brief the general. I was like, "Oh, you want to tell the general this, and you want to tell the general this." And here's what the funny. I go, "Hey, I'm going to let you guys know the general has history with this guy." And they were like, "Really?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, because the general, when he was a colonel, was in the same command." I go, "So make sure to remind him of this." And the lieutenant colonel, he's like, "You just made my day," and he's writing everything down. And I go, "Oh yeah." I go, "So make sure you let the general know, hey, yeah, you've dealt with this guy before. He's a problem." Sadly, though, with that case, because of those missing weapons, um, a Marine, they were trying to pin it on or that shitty officer was trying to pin it on a Marine. The Marine knew he had done wrong. He had followed unlawful orders and sadly took his own life. But I wish I would have had a chance to talk to that Marine ahead of time, because I would have been like, dude, this is not your fault. You're not the leader here. He's going to take the fucking fall. If he told you to do this, an unlawful order is only, you don't have to follow it if it's unlawful on its face. And just because an officer is telling you, hey, do this, well, the order states this, you don't know that it's unlawful on its face, because here's the thing. Commanders, if they are a congressionally screened commander, they can ignore U.S. law. I've dealt with that situation. We had burn pits. I signed off safety-wise on our burn pit. It's completely illegal. But yet, commanders are given the trust and confidence of Congress to where if they think that good order, discipline, and the mission require, they can ignore the law and just say, I'm ignoring the law because of these reasons, and I'm going to do this. They can absolutely do that. Absolutely do it. Now, if something happens, that commander can be held solely responsible. But all these people are like, you don't have to follow unlawful orders. These orders have to be prima facie, on their face, unlawful. Unlawful. But someone telling me, hey, don't do this, which is our standard procedure, and it is in line with publication, just tell me not to do it, doesn't mean it's unlawful on its face. Because the CO might have said, hey, I understand the situation. I'm going to deviate from Marine Corps order and publications, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to write up a whole letter encapsulating my decision, and I'm going to take the fall for my decision. That's perfectly legal. Perfectly legal. Burn pits. My lungs are stronger now. And that ties back into all these people like Caleb Hammer who have a problem with veterans. You're not disabled. You can't work. What if that guy has burn pit exposure and is at increased risk for cancer and has to come in every 6 months for cancer screening? That happens. And you tell me that guy's not 100% disabled? That's why all these people who think they know, they're sea lawyers. All right, guys, I went late. I didn't want to. I got to get going. Thank you for being here. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakening at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors Tractors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awaking with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awaking with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awaking to lighten her load. America's awaking to lighten her load.
Hey there, Veteran Nation fans. I am talking to you today because I have teamed up with a company that's dedicated to supporting veterans. What they do is they help you gather all the medical evidence that you're going to need to submit a VA disability claim. Now, it's all that is designed to help you get the benefits that you have earned. Right now, more than 17 million veterans don't have their full benefits. And if that sounds something familiar, either for yourself or a family member, now is the time to act. With this company, what they offer is free consultations with the medical team so they can figure out how they can best help you. And what they provide is board-certified doctors with experience working with the VA, comprehensive medical documentation for both physical and mental conditions, and the services that they provide include nexus letters, telehealth evaluations, DBQs, TDIU, aid and attendance, and so much more. What you're going to do is you're going to click the link that's in the description of this video and sign up for a free consultation. Make sure you do me a favor, share this, and also tag a veteran. Let's help more people get every single thing that they have earned.